Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is a Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy picks video. This is the number 4 installment in this series, in this playlist. So, I have been at this for a little while because I am having computer problems once again, evidently. So, if I seem a little tired, a little hoarse, it may or may not be because I was yelling at this camera a little while ago. Anyway, this will be the top 5 straight dips. And to save time, I have dispensed with my own dip and the mud jug because evidently this computer just doesn't have the time for that. Top 5 straight dips. But before I get into it, let me just say right off the bat, really, this is a top 3 where I have added 2 onto. I have the 1, 2, and 3 pick. Personally, for my own tastes, I don't really see a need to go beyond them. That said, to make it an actual top 5, I have added 2 products onto the end in the 4 and 5 spot that I thought would be of interest or helpful to viewers. That's you. Anyway, moving on. My number 1 pick is my everyday, and you've already guessed it most likely if you've been around a bit, Stoker Straight. Now, I buy this in tubs. But I do buy a couple of these cans every month, 2 or 3, because I use them as the refill. I don't use the pocket cans that come with the tubs. They're fine, nice idea, just I don't overly care for them. So I use these. You have a very long cut, very moist product with a tangy flavor that I tried once years and years ago and haven't looked back since. So number 1 is Stoker Straight. Now number 2, 2 and 3 sometimes switch back and forth. But as of the last 6 to 8 months, the number 2 is Grizzly Dark Select. You have a fairly moist product. It's more moist than the regular line Grizzly products. The cut is good. It's not the Stoker's by any means, but it is good. And there is a very smoky flavor, all right? It's sort of like Copenhagen Straight, only dialed up. The smoke is dialed up, all right? So, number 2 is Grizzly Dark Select. Number 3. A year ago, it might have been the number 2 spot, but now it's the number 3 spot. And I have already mentioned it. It is Copenhagen Straight. Copenhagen Straight came out. It was by early 2011. It was in stores nationwide, but I believe it came out in 2010. It's got a very smoky flavor to it. Whoever made the Grizzly Dark Select that developed that product, they basically based it off of this and turned up the smoke quite a bit. But the smoky element in the flavor is there. The moisture is very good, and the cut is your normal Copenhagen cut. Sometimes a little wonky. You got to keep in mind that besides the long cut, the pouches, original pouches, and the snuff, all other Copenhagen products are second tier within the brand line. So number 3 is Copenhagen Straight. Now, for me personally, that's as far as I need to go with straights. You know, I'm not a fan of the classic straight flavor that is found in Skull Classic Straight and the regular Grizzly Straight. Not a big fan. And most second tier products and third tier are just not for me at all. That said, this is a top 5, so I have added 2 more in. Personally, I do not have a need in my day-to-day for pouches, which is somewhat good when it comes to straight because there's only 1 to pick from. 2, if you include the Canadian product, the Skull Straight pouches. They used to be available on the United States market, Skull discontinued them here. They live on in Canada. Dirty Pat Walsh was kind enough one time to send me a can, and they were all right. It should, the classic straight flavor sort of changes up a little bit when it's put in a pouch. Only thing I can guess is it's because stuff dip that's put in pouches is fine cut, and it sort of changes the flow juices wise. But anyway, in the United States there is one premium pouch product left that comes in straight, and that is Grizzly straight pouches. Now obviously this is a specialty can from this past year when I did the review. Normally it would be the normal Grizzly top with premium straight, or it might have premium and then the straight pouches in the gold band, but it would be, you can see the claw marks, that would be the normal background color. All right, I had them during the premium pouch reviews, which are found on the premium pouches playlist, and they were pretty good. Again, I'm not a fan of the regular Grizzly straight, but in a pouch, and I'm guessing because of the cut inside the pouch, these were all right, and they are basically the only game in town south of Toronto. So number 4 goes to Grizzly straight pouches. Then we have number 5. Now number 5 can be found. It is a store brand. This was sent to me by Bergs from Bergs Dip Reviews, and I liked it. He thought I might. It is made by the company that distributes Stoker's. That said, this is not a cheap packaging version of Stoker's Straight. It is not. But I did like it, and it is probably the only bottom rung product that I've ever finished a can of on this channel. So, number 5 goes to Smokers Friendly Long Cut Straight. Now, I can't remember the exact numbers, but there are hundreds of Smokers Friendlies, and they're in 30 to 34 states in the United States. Some of their stores are not actually branded. The sign out front doesn't say Smokers Friendly. For example, in my area, there is a chain of tobacco stores. This is in southeastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. There's a chain, it's called Delaware Cigar. All right. Delaware Cigar has different stores. In Delaware, they're actually called Delaware Cigar. In Pennsylvania, they go by different names. These stores are the official carriers of smoker-friendly products. So they will be found on the Smokers Friendly store locator. You go to Smokers Friendly, I guess it's smokerfriendly.com. They have a store locator, and the chances are, for probably 80% of the people watching this in the United States, you'll have one somewhere near you or an affiliate store. This stuff, it had a tang to it, but it wasn't the Stoker's tang. It was something that reminded me of, there was something that carried over in this product that played well with me because I like Stoker's Straight. But that's about as close as this gets to it. The cut was a little all over the place, although it did pinch pretty well and it was very moist. That always plays well with me. The flavor was good though. There was a bit of a tang to it, but I do not want to make it sound like, and I must stress, it is not a plastic lidded Stoker's. It's not. But as far as a budget product goes, and I believe these things are up well under $2, this was pretty darn good. And as I said, I finished the can. Now, I don't think of any time I've ever finished a can of anything else on here that's that low. There may have been a Longhorn that I finished, but usually by the time I get down to my third tier, the pinch for the review is more than enough for me. But this stuff was pretty good. So, running 1 through 5. 1, Stoker's, long cut straight. 2, Grizzly, dark select, long cut select. 3, Copenhagen, long cut straight. 4, if you have a need for pouches and like straight, pretty good, Grizzly, straight pouches. And 5, if you have one near you and feel like wasting $1.50 or whatever it costs, Smokers Friendly store brand, long cut straight. This is also available in winter green as far as I know. Although Bergs from Bergs Dip Review may know better than I. I am now going to cut out because I've been at this for like 3 hours and the computer was locking up and there's been like 4 or 5 takes. In fact, there's been so many takes, the top 5, the list here has changed from the first take until now. So I am going to leave it at that. I will do shout outs in an upcoming video. I guess there'll be a dip, short format dip review sometime in the next 48 hours. I do hope all of you are well. Do take care of yourselves as always, and God bless.